Alright everyone, so this is part 2 of my tutorial on how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Now if you didn't watch part 1, the link is in the description of course, and I would just like to say part 1 was about just the basic concepts of the cube. So it's about like color orientation, how many pieces there actually are, notation, that was a big one we covered. So if you don't know what any of that means, then I would suggest taking a look at the description and clicking on that link. That's where I talk about all that. If you have watched it or already understand it, great. Let's move on to part 2, the actual tutorial. So basically the first step in solving the Rubik's Cube is to get the white cross. Okay, so for example, I'm not a very fast cross solver, but here is a white cross. So we see, of course, we have a cross right here, and all of these line up. So like, for example, an incorrectly solved white cross would be something like this, where, you know, like these two are correct, sure, but these colors don't match. So that is not what you want. You want a correct white cross. So this is what you're looking for. Ignore all these pieces. Just look, these line up, these line up, these line up, and these line up, and we have a cross. So what you're really doing is inserting an edge piece. And an edge piece, like I talked about the last video, has two colors on it. So basically what you're doing is looking for all the edges with white on them. So let's look for like this white orange, and then inserting it in the corresponding center. Now I talked about in part 1, the center defines the face. So the white center, or the face with the white center, is where you want to put all the white pieces on. So as a result, since we want to get the cube into this state where all the orange are on the orange, all the white are on the white, etc., then we want to get a good start. So we want to make sure that the white orange is in line with the white and orange centers. So let's talk about how to do that really quick. So let's try to scramble this up really quick. So I'm kind of in an awkward position. Okay, so we have the cube scrambled. So here's what you want to do. This is a very basic cross. It's beginners and it's intuitive, which means you should be able to figure it out without any algorithms of any sort. And it's very easy. It's called the daisy pattern. And it's not a very quick method, but we're not here to speed solve or anything. So basically, what you want to do is get all of the white edge pieces on the yellow side first. And don't worry about lining up the centers. That'll come later. So let's do that. I see this edge piece right here, so I'm going to move it up here. As you can see, now the white is on top with the yellow. And that's what you want for all your edge pieces. So let's look for another one. Oh, here's one. Oh no, that's not good. It bumped out this guy. So now what we have to do is move him out of the way and then insert our next one. So now we have these two. Okay, so let's look for our next one. So I see one here. So again, if I move it up, it'll just bump it out. So let's move out of the way and move it up. And finally, here's our last one. So let's move this guy up. So that was a pretty easy one. However, you will run into some strange cases. So for example, let's look at something like this. So everything, we've put in 3 of them, but this one is all flipped. So how do you fix this? Well, it's actually simpler than you would think. All you have to do is first pull it out. Okay, so I pulled it out of the pattern. And put it back in. Now, as you can see, it bumped out this one. So let's pull it out. Now you have to move these guys out of the way and then reinsert it. So now we have all these edge pieces on the yellow side, and it looks like a daisy, so that's why it's called the daisy pattern. Okay, so now what we want to do is actually get on the white side. So here's where it comes into play that you want to get all the centers lined up. So let's insert this guy first. So white, blue. Now if we were just to insert it like this, well, it's not lined up correctly. So first you have to move it so it's lined up with its center, and then just see, you're facing this, right? So blue is the face, so you want to do an F2 to insert it. All right, so here we go. Let's insert another one. So here's this white or white red edge piece. So it's lined up. Insert it. Insert this one. And insert this one. So now we have our white cross completely solved. So now let's move on to the next step, finishing the first layer. Okay, so basically what you do is you want to insert the corner pieces. So this is a corner piece because it has white on it and it's a corner. It has 3 colors. So you want to insert this, okay? So let's try to do that. So we want to insert this guy here because it's white, orange, blue, and this has white, orange, and blue on it. So, oh no, well that just screwed up our white cross. So you can't just do something like that. What you have to do is first kick out this edge piece. Now that moves this over here. So you want to join it up, join it up with its edge piece, and then insert it in. So ignore this one, that's kind of a coincidence that got inserted. But now we have this corner inside. All right, so let's do another one. Okay, so here's one. Okay, so let's do the same thing. So we kick out this, and then we join it up, and we put it in. Uh-oh, well, now it's not, it's in the right spot, but it's, wrong. It's not turned correctly. So what you have to do in this case is you have to bump out this edge piece, join it up like this, and then insert it. Man, I'm getting all these F2L pairs. And again, these guys usually won't insert. I'm not really sure why that's happening so often. So yeah. Okay, so we have another case. So let's try our first one. So let's kick this out, bring this over and put it in. Well, that's not right. So let's try the other one. Kick this guy out, join it, and put it in. Oh, well, that's not right either. Well, what do you do in this case? Well, now it's about time I introduced you to something that I like to call the sexy move. Okay, now kind of ignore all this. This is all third layer stuff. But just look at this right here, sexy move. So I talked about notation earlier, and it is an algorithm. It's very simple. It's right, up, right inverted, up inverted. And what you have to do when white is on top, notice how white's on top. In the other 2 cases, it was on the side. But when it's on top, you have to do 3 sexy moves. So let's do that. Right clockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise. Right clockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, and then one more time. And that will insert your piece. So it's pretty quick. I'm not very fast from the right side. I actually do it from the left side. Like that, and it'll insert. But what you want to do is just do right, up inverted, up inverted. And it'll insert it very, very quickly. Just do that 3 times, and it'll go. So here's another one. White's on top. So 3 sexy moves. So now the first layer is solved. So now let's move on to the second layer. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're inserting this edge pair into here, because if you notice, that's where it belongs, because it's red, green, and it belongs between red and green. And this is where you're going to have to memorize 2 algorithms. Okay, so we did the first layer, white crossing corners, so now we're on to the second, and I promise these 2 algorithms are the longest you're going to have to learn. There are 8 moves. They seem pretty complicated, but they're not too bad once you learn them. Okay, so let's look at this. So the first thing you want to do when you insert this here is make sure that these colors line up. Just kind of like in our cross. So for example, if I were to put this here, see how these colors don't line up? Even though it's next to the spot where I want to put it, it still would not be correct, because you have to line these colors up. So line the colors up, and the first move, there are 2 algorithms here. So how do we determine which one to use? Well, the first move should be away from the spot where you want to put it. So like notice how if I were to turn it this way, it goes past it. It goes past this edge that we want to replace it with. So that's going towards. So now let's move this away. Okay, so we're moving it away. And if you notice, it moved it clockwise. So the second algorithm starts with clockwise turn, up. The first one starts with an up inverted. So since moving it away causes the up face to turn clockwise, we're going to use the bottom algorithm. So it's up, right, up inverted, right inverted. And what that does is it joins these two up. So now we just have to insert them with up inverted, up, face. So now we have this edge inserted. So here is another edge. Okay, so we lined up the colors and we want to insert it here. Now if we used an up, like we did last time, notice how it goes past the slot we want to put it in. So that's not right. We want to use an up inverted, which means we will have to use the top algorithm. So we want to go up inverted, left inverted, up, left. Now we're using this one. Up, face, up inverted, face inverted. Now I only inserted two edge pairs. However, when I was inserting the corners, two of the edges kind of came with it, so it kind of like joined up and then it inserted. So you would normally have to do this 4 times, but I only have to do it twice. And since I went over both cases, I'm going to move on since I don't want it to be too long. But just so you know, normally you will have to insert 2. Okay, so let's move on to the third layer. Alright, so we've solved the first and the second layers. And now we're going to solve the third layer. Now the reason why I have 4 cubes in front of me is because there are 4 cases you can run across right after you solve the first and the second layers. And these are the cases that you can run across. So the first one is an L, then there's a line, a dot, and a cross. So the cross is what we're trying to get to, okay? So if you've been following this tutorial and this is what you have, then you can definitely watch these next few minutes, but you don't have to do anything, okay? Now the cross is the least common case, and it's a lucky case because you don't have to do any algorithms. However, normally you will run across one of these 3. So let's go over the first one, which is an L. So here is the algorithm for an L, and yes, there are algorithms, I know. However, there are only 6 moves, these 2. So you want to hold the L like in this picture so that it's in the upper left-hand corner. And you're only looking at edge pieces, so even though I have a corner piece like this, you just ignore that. Only look at the edge. So this is an L, holding it in the top left corner, and now I want to do face. Again, we're following this algorithm. So face, up, inverted, right inverted, face inverted. And that will get us the cross, just like this. And again, the corners don't matter, so we don't want to look at those. So the second case you can run across is this. It's a line. And you want to hold the line horizontally, so it goes like this, like in the picture, and do the following algorithm. Face, sexy move, which is, again, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, and then a face inverted. And that will get you the cross. And the third and final algorithm is actually just a combination of the last 2. So a dot is the most annoying case that you can run into. So if you have a dot right now, of course it doesn't matter where you hold it because, it's just a dot. So what you want to do is first you want to do the L algorithm, and you can do it either way. I just prefer the L algorithm first. So that's face, up inverted, right inverted, face inverted. So we just did this. And now turn it so that the line's horizontal, and then just do the line case. So it's face, sexy move, face inverted. All right. And now we have the third layer, white cross, or yellow cross. Now we have the yellow cross on top. And we're on the second to last, well, actually third to last step. So it is pretty complicated to solve this, but don't worry, you're almost there. So there are several cases that you can run into, and basically your goal is to get this. Now, it's where the yellow cross has all of its edges lined up right. So blue and orange and green and red are all lined up with their centers. However, this will normally not happen. Now, if for some reason you do have a cube that's like that, and then again, you got lucky. So still continue to watch this, but you can kind of sit back and then just kind of soak it in. You don't have to do anything. However, if you're normal, and if you don't, well, here's what you want to do. So let's take the first case. All right, so here we see only one is correct. Okay, so what you want to do is turn it so that two edges are correct. Okay, so, oh, well, I turn it like this, and now this is correct and this is correct. Okay, so this is the first case. So what you want to do is hold it so that one correct edge is on the back and one is on your right, and then perform this algorithm. It looks pretty long, but it's actually really simple because you only move two faces. So again, one is on the back and one is on the right, and do right, up, right inverted, up, right, U2, right inverted, up. And what that did is now all of my edges are oriented correctly. So let's go over that one more time. So let's just look at this really quick. Okay, none of these are correct, so let's turn it. Here's one. Nope, not quite. Ah, here's two. So like this. One's on the back, one's on the right. And then do this algorithm. Okay, right, whoops, right, up, right inverted, up, right, U2, right inverted, up. And there are our edges. Now there's another case you can run into. So let's look at this cube. Okay, well, none of these edges are correct. So let's turn it. Oh, two of them are correct. Oh, wait a minute. This time they're opposite each other. There's one here and one here. What do we do now? Well, hold it so that one's on the face and one's on the back, and do the same algorithm. Right, up, right inverted, up, right, U2, right inverted, up. Okay, so now let's look around again. Okay, well, here are our edges lined up. So now that gave us the first case. So just hold it back and on the right, and then do the same algorithm. And there we go. So those are all the cases you're going to run into when you're orienting the edges. So there's solved, there's one on the, there's two that are next to each other, and then there's two that are opposite each other. And you only have to know this algorithm. The next step is to orient the corners, which is get all the corners in the right spot. And this is the algorithm you're going to need to know for this step. So let's look at this cube. This is one that we just got all the edges correct on. Okay. So all of our edges are right, but the problem is these corners are not. So let's look and see if we have one that is. Oh, here we go. Here's one that's correct. Now I do just note, if you have something like this, we'll see how it's in the right spot, but it's just, you know, kind of turned wrong. That is fine too. That counts as a correct corner in this case. Okay, so here we go. Here's our correct one. Hold it so that it's on like right here. So if you're looking at the face, it's in the top right corner. And then do this algorithm. Up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, left. And now as you can see, all of our corners are in the right spots. Now these two are turned wrong, but they're in the right spots. So let's go over that once more. So correct corner right here. Up, right, up inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, left, or left. And now they're all in the right spot. It's just this one and this one are turned wrong. Now you could run across a case like this where you don't have any correct corners. And if you have a cube like that, then just perform the algorithm. It doesn't matter where you hold it this time. So just up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, left. And now you want to look for a correct corner. So here's one. And now just do the same thing. So hold this in the top right of the face. And then just do up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right, up inverted, left. And now, as you can see, they're all correct. So now the final step in solving your Rubik's Cube is, whoops, wrong one, is permuting the corners, which is basically everything's in the right spot, but some of them are turned wrong. So you actually want to turn your cube upside down so the white is on top. And then, okay, let's see. Well, here is this corner. So you want to hold it in the bottom right and do the sexy move. Okay, well that isn't right still. So let's do it again. No, not quite there. Nope. Oh, there we go. Now it's in correctly. So now you want to just move the down face until another incorrectly oriented corner is in the bottom right. And then continue to do the sexy move. Oh, not quite. There we go. And now your cube will be either solved or very close. You'll only be one turn away usually. So let's do that again. Okay, bottom right. In the right spot is just not oriented correctly. Nope, not quite. Nope. There we go. So now let's put this one in the bottom right. Ah! And now we have another solved cube. So this one is a most unfortunate case. You have to permute all of them. So let's put this one in the bottom right. Nope. 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 Ah! There we go. Now, move this down face. No. 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 There we go. And now let's do it for the last two. The cube is solved. So that is how to solve your 3x3 Rubik's Cube. If you screwed up or something, just go back to the part of the video where you messed up on. So for example, if like you messed up part of your second layer, then go back to the second layer portion. You mess up your first layer, then go back to the first layer, etc. You will probably mess up in the first few tries. If you don't, then congratulations, better than me. But if you do mess up, don't worry, it's completely normal. If you're intimidated by all the algorithms you need to know, then that's totally fine. What I suggest is writing them down. They will be in the description, but it is good to have a hard copy. So anyways, that's how you solve your Rubik's Cube. I want to thank you for watching. And now I'm going to do a quick solve while I explain what's going on. So I just taught you how to solve it, but let's just review really quickly here. So first step, of course, is the white cross. So let's get our daisy pattern. Okay, so I see one here. So we want to put it up top. Okay, I see another one down here. So we want to put this up top. Oh, here's another one. Oh no, that kicks it out. So remember, move it out of the way, put it up. And then our last one we want to put on top. And now, make sure to line up the centers when you insert. That's our white cross. So now let's insert our corners. Kick this out, join it up, put it in. So kick this out, join it up, put it in. Kick this out, join it up, put it in. And kick this out, join it up, put it in. Now remember, if you have something like this, where it's on top, you want to do 3 sexy moves, and it'll insert. Okay. So now let's insert this. So we want to, actually I will pull up these algorithms just so you can see. Alright, so let's insert this one here. So we want to move it away. So that's an up inverted. So we want to use the top algorithm. So up inverted, left inverted, up, left, up, face, up inverted, face inverted. That's inserted. Okay, so now let's do this edge piece, insert it here, move it away, up inverted, so use the top one, up inverted, left inverted, up, left, up, face, up, inverted, face inverted. Okay, line it up. Now move it away. Now it's clockwise, so use the bottom one. So up, right inverted, up inverted, face inverted, up, face. And finally, this one here, up, right inverted, up inverted, face inverted, up, right, face, or face. So now we have a line. So we want to use this algorithm. So face, right inverted, face inverted. So now let's get our edges correct. So none of them are right now. Okay, so we have opposites. So right, up, right inverted, up, right, U2, right inverted, up. Okay, so now let's get them. Now they're adjacent, so hold one on the back, one on the right. Same algorithm, right, up, right inverted, up, right, U2, right inverted, up. Here's the correct corner, so hold it right here. So you want to do up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, left. And now turn your cube around and do the sexy move right here. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. These aren't right. Well, didn't we just do that algorithm? Well, sometimes what will happen is you'll have to do it twice, which is rather unfortunate, but just hold it right here and do the same. So if that happened to you when you're watching the tutorial, I do apologize. You want to just do it again. Okay, so up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up, left. And now everything's right. So now put this in the bottom right. Sex move, nope, nope, nope. There we go. Bottom right. Sex move. And there's a solved cube. So thanks for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.